Hello, welcome back. I'm Jun. I repair vintage watches as a hobby. Thanks for joining me today. On the bench, we have a new piece of junk. An Omega quartz watch from the 1970s. The dial is damaged and everything else is in bad shape. The crown is incorrect and the watch doesn't work at all. When I tried to set the time, it felt very stiff. In this situation, never force it. You can easily break the internal parts. One of my rules is to avoid buying watches whose time setting doesn't work. Usually, the inside is rusted or damaged, and the chance of repair is very low. This watch is a good example. We can see signs of battery leakage. Even worse, the battery terminals are completely gone. The only good point is that the wheel train still rotates smoothly. It might still be usable. So, why did I buy a watch like this? The seller described it honestly. But normally, no one would want a watch in this condition. Well, what if it only costs $10? Actually, this watch was about $5. So, best case, I repair the movement and restore its value. Worst case, I lose $5. Not bad either way. Unfortunately, the bad end came earlier than expected. This side is heavily corroded, and one screw is broken. The other screw is also corroded and never come out. So I've given up on repairing this movement. Instead, I use this donor watch. It didn't come with the glass minute hand or second hand. Who'd want a watch like that? But for me, it's perfect as a donor. And it was only about $20. The total cost is around $25. It's still a bargain. With a new battery installed, it starts ticking. So, I decided to use this movement and service it before installing it. This is the Omega 1336 movement produced in the early 1980s. It was a good movement at the time, but honestly, it's not very desirable today. Any electronic device from 40 years ago can fail without warning. Getting older is inevitable. It's also difficult to repair and find parts for. I removed the cover plate and the circuit board. Now I'm removing another cover plate and the coil underneath. The coil is the most fragile part of a quartz movement. When handling it, don't touch the coil or contact points. And always hold the mounting plate only. This movement has a unique time setting. You can adjust only the hour hand with the crown. It jumps 1 hour at a time without changing the minute hand. This will be useful when adjusting for time zone differences. Now I remove the train wheel bridge. Actually, nothing special here. Under the bridge, there are 4 wheels, 1 pinion, and the rotor. I'm disassembling the setting wheel and setting levers. Since it's a quartz watch, we don't need to adjust the time so often. So it would still work without disassembling or cleaning these parts. But since we are here, let's do it properly. Disassembly for cleaning completed. Let's start cleaning. First, I use isopropyl alcohol to pre-clean the plates and wheels by hand. For cleaning, I use a watch parts cleaning solution and an ultrasonic cleaner. It's a perfect combination for non-professional repair. It's important to remove the cleaning solution completely. So I rinse the parts with water and put them in the ultrasonic cleaner again. Water can cause rust. So I use an air blower to remove as much water as possible. Then I use IPA to remove the remaining water completely. IPA absorbs water and prevents rust. While the parts were drying, I cleaned the watch case. It was covered in rust and dirt. And also, the old gasket was stuck in the groove. So I removed it during the cleaning process. Alright, let's move on to assembly and lubrication. This movement has fewer parts than a typical mechanical watch. So I thought it would be easy to assemble. But it wasn't. I couldn't find a technical guide, so I had to rely on trial and error. You'll see my struggles. After installing the setting levers, I started assembling the train wheel. This is the rotor with a permanent magnet. I use Rodico to remove dust and metal debris before installing it. Installing the wheels was tricky because the magnet pulls the wheels in. It took a long time to align everything. Place the wheels one by one, making sure the top and bottom sides are correct. This is the center second wheel. I lubricate it before installing it. The next challenge was installing the bridge. All pivots must fit into their jewels. I couldn't help letting out a big sigh. Finally, I managed to install it off camera. I lubricate all jewels on both sides of camera. This wheel appears to play a crucial role in the unique time setting system, but I couldn't find any technical details. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments. Alright, the mechanical assembly and lubrication are now complete. The remaining parts are the electronic modules. First, I installed the coil. Then the circuit insulator, the electronic module, and the cover plate. Vintage quartz watches have almost no value today. But one good thing is they can still work like modern quartz watches. Unlike vintage cars or vintage computers, we can use vintage watches every day without compromise. They function just like new. However, in terms of look and feel, vintage quartz watches may seem old and outdated. This watch, in particular, has cosmetic issues, so it may not be suitable for everyday use. There's nothing we can do about the dial. For now, I'll use it as it is and start looking for a replacement dial. I installed the hour hand at 12 o'clock. The minute and second hands must also point precisely to 12 o'clock. Alright, we are almost there, but still have a few things to do. First, put the movement back into the case. And fix it with case clamps. This is the pusher used to move the hands forward to set the minute and second. The crown that came with the watch didn't match the case. I replaced it with a silver one. The silver one is not an Omega, but the color matches with the case. I fixed it with Loctite. Much better. I installed a new battery and a new gasket to finish the repair. Here it is, the finished watch. Let's see how it works. To set the hour, put the crown out and rotate it. The hour hand jumps 1 hour at a time. This is useful for changing time zones. To set the minute, press and hold the pusher for 5 seconds, then release. Right after that, press and hold again. It moves both the second and minute hands. Interesting, right? This Omega model is sometimes sold as broken because of its unique time setting system, especially if the seller doesn't know how to set the time. It can be a good buy if you know what it is. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and feel inspired to try fixing a watch yourself. See you next time. Take care.